Now, besides the introduction of a new trophy and new balloting system to the National Science and Maths quiz this year, contestants are being taken through psychological assessment to help them deal with the emotional distress and trauma that comes with defeat. Now, this initiative comes on the back of several reports of emotional distress some contestants go through after losing the contest. Nancy Mefa has been speaking with Dr. Collins Bedu-Agyemang, who is the NSMQ psychologist, and he's also with the psychology department of the University of Ghana.
So one thing that has often come up is how these contestants take either a win or defeat, or how they feel during the contest. I remember very well that a year ago, I think at Akunuman Senior High School, the students, after they had lost that particular contest, were all over the place crying, rolling on the floor. They were uncontrollably crying, and some of them actually talked about suicide tendencies. This year, one of the new initiatives that Primetime Ghana Limited has brought in on board are psychologists to speak to these contestants before and after each contest. I've been joined by one of the psychologists. He's also a lecturer here at the University of Ghana, Dr. Collins Bedu-Agyemang. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you very much, Mefa.
I want to believe that psychology plays a role in psyching up these contestants for each contest that they're going into. Tell me the role of it in this.
Well, I must say that this is a competition. And when you have two opposing parties or three opposing parties, a number of things goes on in the minds of these contestants, in the minds of these coaches and mentors, as well as parents who are even at home, and the various schools that they are representing. And I must say, especially from the 1-8 stage, it's very competitive, and so the anxiety begins to build up. And a number of schools have invested a lot. If you go back home, how they recruit these contestants, they go through series of test writing, continuous monitoring and support for these students. And winning this competition goes beyond just having a strong IQ or knowing how to do arithmetics, knowing how to say the true or falses. And some of the things that we have observed, these students need to actually set a very fine goal, and they need to know how they work toward this goal. These students may have to concentrate during that particular context. And even after, just as you mentioned, it's like tossing a coin. It can either be the head or the tail. And so from our assessment, we think before, during, and after the competition, these contestants need support. And so before, what we did with them, we meet all the team, including their coaches, and then we try to take them through series of psychological strategies, how they can reduce their anxiety, how they can prepare adequately, how they need to work together as a team, self-regulation strategies, and also some relaxation techniques they need to employ, having enough rest ahead of the contest, and other strategies that we took them through before they actually came into the contest. And during the contest, just before they go and sit down, they get mic'd and begin the contestation, we also engage them and then enjoin them some of the things that they need to be mindful of, where their attention should be. You know, it is interesting that as researcher practitioners, as we came on board, we've seen there are professional spectators. Some schools are actually hiring professional spectators to increase the noise levels when the opposing side is actually giving out their answers and all that. These have the tendencies to distract some of the students, and so we have spotted all these things, and we need to help every contesting school to have this particular advantage. It is also interesting to know that high-performing schools over the years were engaging the services of psychologists. And so if you are from my school, maybe Mpasetia Secondary, or maybe from Ameniampon Secondary, or maybe Fabodiebeje Secondary School, and we don't have the resources, old boys are not supporting the way they should, we will be disadvantaged. And these high-performing schools may be getting the support from psychologists and others. And it's a fine initiative for Prime Time to consider how these students may feel. They are young adolescents, some are just at their adolescent stages, and they may worry a lot because of how they are performing. Some may not even forgive themselves for getting certain questions wrong.
Fine initiative indeed, but don't forget the conversation continues on our social media platform. Hashtag NSMQ on Joy is streaming live. Let me tell you what the contests for today are. We've got Holy Child Senior High School against Kumasi Academy and Law Senior High School, and New Drubbing with Armed Forces Senior High Technical School and the Ghana Senior High School. And the last contest of the day will be between Adisadel College, Ganata, and Insutaman Catholic Senior High Schools. We wish the teams all the best. But don't forget, like I said, it's streaming live on our Facebook page, JoyNews on TV. That's it for this edition of News Desk. I'm Benis Abubedu Lanza. Thanks for your company.